So on Sunday morning, I was preparing to leave my establishment, this here establishment, for morning service, and I was in the kitchen getting banana, and it was bad, so I had to throw it away, and I noticed that the trash was full. And the Lord said, take out the trash. And I said, okay, Lord, I'll do it. And then I remembered, it's 9 in the morning. The turkey vultures, or whatever vultures they may be, are outside by the trash bin. Lord, Lord, what shall I do? Because them suckers are scary. And they're big. They're bigger than me, which really ain't saying very much. Yes, but he said, take out the trash. And I said, yes, Lord, I will take out the trash. So I proceeded to walk down the stairs, and I looked to my left, and there was no one there. And I looked to my right, and there was no one there, but there was indeed a host of turkey vultures near that there trash bin. And I said, Lord, Lord, what shall I do? Because you know I don't like animals. Lord, Lord, what shall I do? And so me wanting to be the good citizen that I am, I didn't want to litter, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to have to take this trash to the trash bin. And so I began to walk, and I realized that I had my keys in my hand. These keys. Because I was about to drive to church to worship the Lord, and I said, maybe if I shake my keys, it'll make the birds fly away. And I remember my brother doing something similar when I was younger with a dog. We didn't like dogs, and so he shook his keys at the dog, and the dog ran away. So I said I would shake my keys, and so I'm walking forward with the trash and with my keys, and there's about 6 to 8 turkey vultures near that trash bin. I said, Lord, it's a lot. Make them go. So I started shaking my keys, and I walked toward that trash bin, and I noticed that maybe 1, maybe 2 of those birds flew away. I said, this might be working. Maybe something happens when I make a sound. Uh-oh, you're going to catch it in a minute. Maybe something is happening when I make a sound. And so I began to shake my keys a little bit harder. And so the more I shook my keys, the more the birds began to be upset. See, and so I said, oh, okay, I'm just going to add to the sound. And so there's the shaking of the keys, which, by the way, I have a few keys. I don't have very many. I have my house key for home, and I have my room key and my mailbox key, my car key, and my pepper spray. Can never be too safe. And I have a Kroger card, a library card, other miscellaneous cards with their own respective rings, if you will, all that make noise as I shake my keys. And I also have feet, so I began to stomp my feet as I walked, and I shook my keys, and I noticed that the birds were flying away, and I said, again, there's something that's happening when I make a sound, and the birds don't like it when I make a sound. So I'm going to continue to make the sound. And so I got closer. I got a little bit more confidence. See, when you start to make a sound, you encourage yourself. I'm going somewhere with this. Follow me. I'm going somewhere. So I'm getting closer. I'm making more noise. About 5 of the birds have flown away. There's only 1 or 2 left. I get pretty much up to the trash bin, and the one closest to me flew away, but there's one more. There's one more at the furthest end of the trash bin. And so I have my trash in hand, and I said, you know what, I will not let this turkey vulture stop me from throwing away my trash. I've come too far to give up now. Touch your neighbor, say, I've come too far. I said, touch your neighbor. Too far to give up now. Hallelujah. So I've come too far to give up now. And so I took my trash, and there's a lot in this trash for miscellaneous reasons which shall remain unnamed. I took this trash, to wheel it over my shoulder. That last turkey vulture said, no, bruh, flew away with its other little friend, and I hauled it into the trash bin. And let me explain something to you. I'm going to dissect this for you, because what you don't understand is that when you come into the house of God, which is an act of obedience, the Lord tells us to go into the house of God, worship together, join together to know Him. Okay? When you go into the house of God, there are things that are stopping you from being obedient to go into the house of God. Might be 6 of them, might be 8 of them, but there's things that don't want you to accomplish that purpose. See, and it would be very easy for you to say, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid to face that thing that is hindering me. But if you are obedient, let me tell you, if you're obedient and you make a sound, Doesn't have to be a big sound, it could be a small sound. Come on. Come on. My sister's catching it all right. If you begin to make a sound, that is your worship when you enter the courts of the Lord. You make a sound, and the more sound you make, the more you realize things begin to shake.
Come on.
Come on. The more of a sound you make, the more things begin to shake, and the more you begin to encourage yourself. And you look a whole lot bigger than those little bit of problems that seem way bigger than they actually are, because you realize that your Father also holds some keys. Come on, come on, come on. And so these turkey vultures, or your problems, if you will, have nothing on your keys. And when they hear that sound, what that sound actually represents is the coming of the King, the coming of the one who puts everything in order, the coming of the one who created those birds in the first place. And they understand, they understand that their master is coming, and the master is saying it's time to go, and I cannot stay any longer. I have overstayed my welcome. Come on, overstayed my welcome. It's time to go, for the master is coming. And so as you begin to enter into the presence of God with your worship, and you get into it with your hands and your feet, and with everything you have, those little problems, they can't stay there no more. There is a sound.
Come on.
A sound that must come forth for you to see that breakthrough, for you to receive that victory.
Bruh.
That victory that you have been looking for. And my friends, I'm going to encourage you today to make a sound. Make a sound. You have no idea the power that you have with that sound. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You can try.